Okay, so day 11 of training camp is wrapped up. Couple things to talk about, couple things to cover. I'll get into the latest roster transactions first. The 49ers cut veteran wide receiver Andy Isabella. With that move, they re signed veteran wide receiver Equinemius St. Brown. So St. Brown was released 4 or 5 days ago. They signed Andy Isabella. Andy Isabella goes down with an ankle injury yesterday on Monday. With that, they re signed Equinemius St. Brown, who they released just 3 to 4 days ago. Again, constant shuffling of veteran wide receivers in and out the door. Obviously, with Jawan Jennings still not practicing, they need depth at that position. They also released Isaiah Nair, and Ricky Pearsall obviously was dealing with the injury as well, dealing with the hamstring injury. He's obviously been back at practice. He's been dominating training camp, by the way, which we'll get into that. However, yeah, they cut Andy Isabella and they re-signed Equinemius St. Brown, and that's the latest on 49er roster transactions. So, yeah, St. Brown's back with the 49ers. We'll see how long that lasts. I know obviously they've been shuffling through multiple wide receivers. It's kind of been this like shuffle of the same wide receivers for like the last week and a half. Obviously, with Jawan Jennings out, it really kind of puts a halt on things. You know, it really kind of puts a bump in the road with the receiving group because it's super thin right now, especially with Ayuk down. So, I mean, obviously, the 49ers are going out and signing guys that are filling in for injured players like Jennings and things like that, and Ayuk. So, not surprised they keep shuffling through wide receivers. Doubt it's the end of it. I'm sure we're going to see some other guys get signed. I was hoping to see them sign Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen still has some juice left in the tank. He re-signed with the Chargers today on a 1-year deal. So he's reuniting with the Los Angeles Chargers. But I was surprised that the 49ers didn't explore signing him. He's a veteran presence. Again, he's got a lot of juice left in the tank. I definitely think he could have been a productive piece while Ayuk's out and why the 49ers receiver room is as thin as it is. But at the same time, I understand why they didn't sign him. The 49ers are wanting to get younger. That's literally a step in the wrong direction if they go out and sign, a 32, 33-year-old wide receiver. So I get it, but I'm also surprised that they didn't at least explore signing Keenan Allen. Moving on here to Nick Bosa. There was an update with Nick Bosa. He's been resting, according to Kyle Shanahan. What's interesting, he's been resting since like Friday. He was seen today doing conditioning work on a side field and he wasn't practicing. So that's interesting. That's going to be something to keep an eye out on. I have seen some things where they've said that he's just sore and he's kind of just taking some rest days. I don't know. Could there be an injury that hasn't been disclosed potentially? Something to keep an eye out on for Nick Bosa. That's interesting. So it genuinely could just be him being sore and them just resting him a couple extra days. But it's pretty interesting to see him getting like be going on like 4 days of rest. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Nick Bosa. Don't think it's anything serious, obviously. I mean, they haven't came out and said anything. Looks like he's just sore. We'll see what happens with that. Upton Stout, man. Upton Stout has been arguably the best rookie that the 49ers have on their roster so far. He's all over the field. He won a 1v1 matchup versus Ricky Pearsall. Also broke up a pass to Christian McCaffrey. He looks like he is, without a doubt, submitting himself as the starting nickel corner. That is very good to see. Loved Upton Stout coming out. Loved where they got him at in the draft. He's balling. He is absolutely balling. And like I said, he's arguably the best performing rookie right now in the 49ers draft class. And corner is a very thin position. So for Upton Stout to be performing at the level that he's performing at, it's huge. The 49ers need guys like Upton Stout to step up, and Upton Stout's doing this as a rookie. Fred Warner talked about the impact that Upton Stout's had. There was also a play today where Spencer Burford, the offensive tackle, came running at Upton Stout on a run play. Stout set the edge and fearlessly took on Spencer Burford, directing the play back inside where Corey Kiner was stopped for a short gain. So this guy's just not scared of anything. He's built different. He is balling, and you love to see that, again, just given how thin the corner position has been. Diamador Lenore's back at practice and things like that, but the 49ers have a very thin corner room outside of Demo. Renardo Green is somebody else that's not currently practicing. Not somebody else, but he is somebody that's not practicing. He still has that hamstring injury. Timetable on returns a few weeks. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, Upton Stout performing at the level that he is massive, just given how banged up and how thin the Niners currently are at corner. So love to hear that from Upton Stout. Moving on here to C.J. West. C.J. West has also been having a dominating training camp. He got first team reps today at training camp. He had some good work when it came to one-on-one drills. He's gone up against Jake Brendel, the starting center, a couple times the past 2 days. He seemingly won on both one-on-ones against Jake Brendel. West is, starting to get a taste of some of the guys in one-on-one drills at the top of the depth chart. So good to see that. CJ West has had a phenomenal training camp. Very good to hear. I mean, again, that's another thin position that the 49ers have, interior defensive line. Hitting on CJ West and hitting on Upton Stout. Obviously, we'll see how this thing plays out when the season starts, but hitting on those two picks will be crucial for the 49ers in the 2025 season. Obviously Alfred Collins is another one he's kind of been off and on. I've been reading some things where he's seemingly been struggling. I'm not at these camps, so I don't, I'm not seeing this thing firsthand, but just kind of hearing updates and hearing reporters talk about Alfred Collins. He's been awful slow. He didn't participate in the beginning of the 49ers offseason, so he's kind of off to a late start, but hopefully he kind of comes around. But it's good to know that CJ West has been performing at a pretty high level during the 49ers training camp. So good things coming out of San Francisco training camp-wise. Isaiah Nair also, the rookie wide receiver that the 49ers waived yesterday, went unclaimed on waivers. Nobody picked him up on waivers, so he now becomes a free agent. Interesting to me that not a single NFL team went after Isaiah Nair when it came to all the practice hype that he was getting. 49ers could potentially bring him back. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see how that thing kind of pans out. But it's going to be something else to kind of keep an eye out on. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Those are the latest updates surrounding the 49ers. I guess I could touch a little bit on Ricky Pearsall. He's been dominating. He's clearly the 49ers wide receiver one right now, giving Jawan Jennings being out. But I think he could the way that he's been performing this training camp, he could very well be the wide receiver one for the 49ers in 2025, even with Jennings back. Ayuk's obviously going to be back too, and when Ayuk gets back, he's obviously going to be the wide receiver one. But I think when it comes to the statistics this year, Ricky Pearsall might be the best wide receiver on the 49ers roster in 2025, just given stats, games played, and things like that. Obviously, hopefully he stays healthy. I mean, that goes for everybody on the team, but Pearsall has looked phenomenal during camp. Him and Purdy have developed this chemistry that's going to be exciting to watch going into the season. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of all these updates. Again, we touched on Bosa, roster transactions, Upton Stout, CJ West. I'll continue to keep you guys updated as or as news comes out. But yeah, as always, go Niners. I'll see you guys in the next one.